today in the Indian Express, there's an editorial that has been written by the Prime Minister himself. I'm just going to quickly read out a couple of lines, and then probably the both of you can give me a quick understanding, and then we'll move on to other stories because, well, we spent too much time on India's international diplomacy. It says here, this is G20 for we the people. We the people, again, talks about, the constitution, the preamble. It has a little flavor over there as well. It has a quad flavor. It has a flavor of tackling China. It has a flavor of 2024 elections as well. So multitasking.
There's so much of spices in what
right,
you
absolutely. This is proper biryani. India's presidency has focused on human-centric approach to ensure that the fruits of globalization reach the last mile. A little bit from what the Prime Minister spoke at in that PTI interview as well, when he gave an exclusive to the Press Trust of India. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. These two words capture a deep philosophy. The phrase means the world is one family, which is also the theme. This is an all-embracing outlook that encourages us to progress as one universal family, transcending borders, languages and ideologies. During India's G20 presidency, this has translated into a call for human-centric progress. As one Earth, we are coming together to nurture our planet. As one family, we support each other in the pursuit of growth, and we move together towards a shared one future, which is an undeniable truth in these interconnected times. The Prime Minister also spoke about how post-2020 and post-COVID-19, it's a completely different era. I wouldn't say it's a new world order, but it's a different era.
Well, he's right when he says that, because 2020, the kind of factors that sustain the world past structures at that time is very different from what in a post-COVID world. We have a war in Europe. We have protectionism coming back in Europe. You have the Americans going into protectionism. You're talking about the UK trying to seal its borders as well. It's moved out of the European Union. Brexit has happened. So it's a very different world that we deal with. Interestingly enough, when the Prime Minister said it's about fruits of globalization, I think India is the only country now that's talking about globalization. The rest of them are all in protectionist mode. China is also in a protectionist mode. So, they were all harping about the world as a global village and things like that. And then we were talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And what happened is that
it is a tongue twister.
Kutumbakam is a tongue twister. But at the end of the day, what has happened is that we are the only ones advocating globalization now. Where are those countries that were advocating about globalization? Everybody is talking about interests of their country, interests about their, citizenry. So it's time that we start to bring that focus back on globalization.
Right,
and I think the Prime Minister has been a beacon of
exactly
he's been trying to ensure that the financial flows.
How does the youth look at this tongue twister? How does the youth perceive Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? Shared principles, shared ideologies, living together, one principle, one ideology, and now very soon one nation, one poll.
Oh, well, I guess. So my point is right now that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the principle is there. As he has rightly pointed out, that globalization, I think. After 2022, the concept of globalization has changed. We are talking about ties, we are talking about equality, we are talking about a shared principle, we are talking about shared interest, we are talking about give and take between the countries. But before that, I think it was some 2-3, global powers imposing their interests, imposing their ties and calling it globalization. So that is not, you are just spreading your influence, that is not globalization, but actually, having a proper tie with a country, where you have shared interests, where you talk about issues. We are talking about Myanmar right now, that the political turmoil has been going on for so many years, but nobody was talking about it. And I think with this, that India's approach to globalization, with India's approach to the global platform, I think we're talking about issues that had to be talked about. I think we are a little late, but I think jab jago tab savera. So
well, absolutely. And that particular editorial piece is available on the Indian Express and of course on the internet as well. Do give it a read. The Prime Minister has written an editorial. प्रधानमंत्री के लिए इतना तो किया जा सकता है.